Okay, I'm here. Hello. That last time that it shut down was because, did we get baited? To anybody who is gonna get 3 alerts about this stream, what's up? My bad. So we actually, I looked up like optimized settings for 720, and it seems to be running okay now. Like, we are dropping frames, but it's super rare. So that's great. It's just not going to look as cute. It's just not going to be as cute of a stream. But you know what? If we're not dropping frames very often, I'm going to call that good. The reason that it dropped that last time is because my webcam wasn't plugged in, and a ghost of Christmas past showed up in my life and was like, remember when sometimes when you would plug in the webcam, OBS would crash? What if we did that again? Oh yeah, also somebody was like, you should really update OBS in case that's the issue. And I was like, I don't think it is, but I'll try. And I updated it, and now none of my plugins work. So if closed captioning and stuff isn't happening, that's why. It's because I updated like a goofball. Updates are never good. You heard it here first. Updates always bad. Officially. Oh my god. Homie, what is happening with your hair today? Who are you today? I don't know, but it's fine. You can't see me yet. It's because I'm still like making peace with my vibe today. Hi. Hello everybody. If it works, don't touch it. It wasn't working, though. It wasn't working. Nothing's been working for a week. I was desperate. So I updated OBS. Mistake. An obvious mistake. I'll never make this mistake again. I'll never update anything in my life ever again. But what's up? How's it going? No updates. Ever! Boo! So yeah, how's it going, guys? I do. Yeah, I cut all my hair off. Hi. I know. What's going on? Really? I didn't know that. For real? Wow. This today's been kind of hectic. It's getting kind of hectic because so we were supposed to go like little kid rock climbing this morning, basically. And we were invited by Sam's best friend who's in town and has a kid that is a little bit younger than Clarky. So they were like, we're gonna go do this like 2 to 4 year olds rock climbing thing. Would you guys like to come? And we were like, absolutely. But we were told like you have to book it because it gets like fully booked up really quickly, right? Wait, hold on. I'm gonna add 720p to this title because people get uppity about resolution. 720p extravaganza. There we go. Perfect. Okay. You okay, darling? You gonna lay down? Huh? Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, so toddler rock climbing is popular. Oh yeah. Little kids, once they like once they understand how like the holds and things work, they love it. If they have a fear of heights or something, maybe not, right? But like if your kid learns how to use the climbing bits and isn't scared of heights, they'll go hard on that shit. Clark wants to show me how high she can climb all the time. It's her favorite thing. So yeah, we were like, Clark would love that. Last night, I get a frantic text from Criken saying, what's up? I missed my flight. Can I stay with you guys? And we were like, sure, no problem. So this morning we were trying to figure out the logistics. Like, okay, we're gonna You know, like we're going to this rock climbing thing, but also he needs to get to the train station. Can he get a taxi? Not really. The area we're in is too remote. There aren't taxis, blah, 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 right? So we're like trying to figure out, okay, so we have to take him to the train station, but we also have to be at this rock climbing thing at whatever time. Also, Sam is really determined to come, even though his back is busted because it's his best friend who's in town. So we're going to wake up Sam at like 9 a.m., right? Like it was just, the morning was just a lot. So Sam's woken up. I've made everybody breakfast. I was very proud of that. I made everybody breakfast. Criken's awake. Sam's getting up. We're getting ready to go. And then I suddenly realize, holy shit, I never booked the tickets. So I call and I'm like, what's up? We're supposed to be at this toddler thingy. Are there any spaces left? And they were like, oh, no. No, absolutely not. That is fully booked. And I was like, so then my sweet husband, who again has trouble even like walking around very well. Thank you for the alarm. Tweet the stream. I will. Let me get through this story. He's up like ready to go, right? And I have to go to him and be like, him and Clark have to go to them and be like, hey, so I never booked those tickets. So we actually can't go to this thing. And Clark was like, what? And Sam was like, awesome. Because he just wanted to get back in bed so bad. So I goofed up. The whole morning was so hectic and for absolutely nothing. In the end, we just like chilled until Keenan needed to go to the train station. And then I was like, well, Sam's already awake. I'll just stream as soon as we get back, which is what I tried to do, but was like messing with stuff. So I was trying to stream at noon. But you know, X, Y, and Z things happened. Okay, it's tweeted. So yeah, we took him to the train station. Clarky cried the whole way home. And I realized, what time is SMD supposed to start? I don't know. 1 is the official answer. Today, it was as soon as I possibly could because I want Sam to sleep all afternoon if possible. I want Sam to not be doing anything because his back is not getting better. Anyways, so, yeah, I don't remember what I was saying, but that's been my day. That's been my day so far. Clark cried the whole way home, and I was like, you know what? Clark's had a full week of going to school. I bet she would really benefit from just having a day where we don't do shit, you know? Like, she laid in bed, awake, but just laid in bed with me until like 8:30 in the morning, and I was like, she's wiped, dude. She's wiped. See you in a year, Clark. Just kidding. I'm back a week later. Yeah. That's what I said to her too, is because she, you know, she just gets sad when people leave. And I was like, but you never know. You know, sometimes we get surprised with a fun visit from somebody. You never know when somebody's going to show up. Those days are nice every now and then. Absolutely. And honestly, I think like super necessary after week 1 of school. You know? We don't gotta do anything. We have a thing planned tomorrow. If today is literally, if she wants to take a nap, you know, we've got our watch party planned for tonight. I basically decided if no one wants to do this watch party with me, not necessarily want to, that makes it sound sinister, like everybody's looking at my messages being like, fuck that guy, but like if nobody's able to join me for the watch party, like to be on the call with me, I think that's totally fine. Because I found out that so everybody kept saying, if you want the highest number of people who will be able to join and watch will be if you do an Amazon original. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna actually take the time to look through the Amazon originals. And I had no idea, I did not realize there are 3 seasons of a Costume Quest show, like the game. They made a show of it. I went on whatever that Common Sense website is for parents, where they can like write out like whether or not they think a show is like good for your kids to watch and like any warnings and stuff. Just to get an idea of what I was into if I was gonna watch it on stream, right? And it was like, yeah, it's, you know, it's pretty cute. Nothing particularly problematic in it. It's just a cute show about kids that have powers with their costumes. Never heard of Costume Quest. Oh, it's like a super cute, who made that game? I'm actually trying to remember. There's a couple of them, but they came out around Halloween. I want to say like 8 or 9 years ago, maybe more, maybe 10 years ago. And they're little games where you play as a group of kids. You could play it by yourself or co-op. Double Fine, that's who it was. You can play it by yourself or co-op, and you're a bunch of kids on Halloween night trick-or-treating, and depending on the costume that you're wearing, you are a different like class, basically. So you get into fights with monsters and things, and you can change all of the kids' costumes to like be different classes and like fight in different ways, and you can find different costumes and stuff. It is very cute. But yeah, so they have 3 seasons of a Costume Quest show on Amazon. So I was like, bro, 'tis the season. It's the perfect time for us to be watching some Costume Quest. So first season is 6 episodes. Each episode is around 25 minutes. I'm not going to say we're going to get through all 6. We could. But I figure that would be like a cute, chill thing that we could watch. Yes, I think that's an important aspect to note, is that it's all like pretend. It's all like inside of the game, it's like a turn-based adventure game, but like it's all like them having an imaginary adventure, basically. Sorry, I just saw, you know, sometimes sort of like in a kid's horror thing where like you see the shadow of something up against a drape and you're like, what the fuck is that? I just saw, I think, just a tiny bug on my window, but through the drape it looked huge. I was like, what the fuck is that? Anyways, it is the season, so yeah, it should be fun. What's the premise of the show? I don't know. I assume kids in costumes going on adventures is the premise of the show, but we shall see, I suppose. So we will aim to do that at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. my time. We shall see if that goes. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. I like that we've collectively decided Halloween started September 1st this year. I was looking around the kitchen going, I need to put up my Halloween decorations. And Kraken was like, do you? Yeah, obviously I do. Where are my little framed pumpkin pictures, Keenan? Not in the kitchen where they belong, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, my pumpkins stay in my office all year, so you know. But yeah. Doesn't that pumpkin have a brother or a twin? It does. I'm not sure where the other one is. It might be in my kids' room. I'm actually not positive where the other one has gone. It's weird when people say streamer names. Oh, like if I call Crike and Keenan. Yeah. I think sometimes people have a disconnect as well when I talk about John. If I'm talking about John, I mean Total Biscuit. If I'm like, yeah, I really miss John, people will be like, who? But that's what I always called him, you know? At my job, my manager started to pull out Christmas stuff. No. No. Thank you. I'm also enjoying my haircut. When did you cut it short? It looks fucking awesome. Thank you. Thanks so much, guys. I cut it short a few months ago, but I cut it this short 2 weeks ago, I think. Maybe 3 weeks ago. Oh my god, what is time? What the fuck? Hearing Sam call Dodger Brooke threw me for a loop. I mean, Sam never calls me Dodger unless there is a highly specific reason to. There's situations where we will use one another's handles exclusively if we're talking to somebody and we think they won't know who we mean otherwise, right? So if Sam's talking to somebody and it's obvious that like they don't know me, but they would know of me online, he'll call me Dodger, right? He'll be like, I'm married to Dodger, right? But in our real life, obviously he always calls me Brooke. To all of our friends, whether they're streamers or not, he always calls me Brooke, so. Remembering that Tectone clip, you're married to Dodger. Yeah. I love that clip. I find that clip hilarious. What the? It was like a perfectly cut scream at the end. What a good clip. Jesus. I think the disconnect also comes from the fact we call Sam by his name, but you by your handle. Yeah, I also think that's fair. Sam's thought about changing his before, his handle. Like, if he was able to get twitch.tv/Sam, would he take it? We discussed this not that long ago. Like, would that be beneficial or not, you know? But I like stripping. But I now associate the word stripping with him, you know? So Sam strippin's just fun to say. It is. Yeah. I also like strippin', but nobody calls him strippin'. I don't think that's true. I think we have some friends that call him strippin'. If you could have Dodger as your Twitch handle, would you take it? I don't think so. I like having everything as Dexbonus, even though nobody calls me like Dexbonus, you know? Wait, what? I know Strippin. He used to play GTA Family RP with a lot of people back in the day. He still does GTA RP, yeah. That's my husband. I've warmed up to when people call me Dex, to be honest. There used to be a weird disconnect there, but like if somebody isn't familiar with me and we like raid them or something, I think it's kind of cute when they're like, thanks so much, Dex, you know? I think that's cute. I know, that's the other thing is I would hate to change the name of everything again. I think I already am in a weird place where people call me by a lot of different names and it can be confusing. You know, the brand started off as Press Heart to Continue with like this dexterity bonus thing on the side, and then went from dexterity bonus to Dexbonus, right? But like no one calls me Dexbonus, everyone calls me Dodger. And then sometimes Dooger, and now sometimes Brooke as well, depending on who I'm with, right? So yeah, it is. I understand why sometimes people are like, I don't know who you're talking about, right? So if you've ever been confused about that sort of stuff, I'm very sorry. It wasn't my intention. It wasn't my intention to be confusing. When I made the YouTube channel, there also, you know, was less of a conversation about like how important it is to like have everything under the same name and all of this shit, right? Like those conversations weren't happening. We were a bunch of fucking like early 20-somethings making the first like gaming YouTube channels and stuff, you know? So anyways, in my mind, it was, okay, Dodger is what I want people to call me, but the name of my channel should be what I think what I want the name of my show to be, you know? And then stuff just got squirrely from there. So yeah, I like that everything is Dexbonus now. I think Dexbonus is easy to remember. It's succinct. It started off as Dexterity Bonus. That was a mistake. Shortening everything to Dexbonus was the correct call. Yeah, you know, I walked so that the 15-year-olds doing no scopes can run. Oh my god. As many of you know, my kid is super into bugs. I was on my phone I was trying to find something. But you know, I'm trying to legitimately do something. Oops, I accidentally opened up TikTok pipeline is constant. So, I couldn't find the thing, and I just opened up TikTok for a second. And the very first video that popped up was a person who, is, breeding a certain type of bug to be able to eat and process plastic. So we're watching a video of all of these bugs eating styrofoam. Clark watched that video, I want to say like 8 or 9 times. And I was like, it's pretty cool, right? She was like, yeah, it's really cool. I was like, this is, because she was asking like about different types of scientists, like what they do. And I was like, there are scientists for everything, Clarky. There are scientists that do all sorts of things. I was like, so this is the sort of thing that maybe a bug scientist would do, right? somebody who understands how to like breed bugs to do specific things, or understands bugs really well and is researching how to utilize them in ways that are safe for the bugs but also beneficial for the earth and like all those sorts of things. And she was like, I want to be a ballerina, but I also want to be a bug scientist. And I was like, honey, you can be both. I believe in you. I think you can do both of those things. But it was very cool, this video. I wish I don't think, oh no, Clark has my phone right now. We stand STEM ballerinas, absolutely. Does Clark watch terrarium vids? Not really. We've watched some videos of terrariums because she has her like terrarium jar in her room with all the isopods in it. So we've watched videos of more complex terrariums before, and both her and Sam are like, we should get a big one. I'm the only person in the house who's like, yeah, maybe we should learn a little bit more about them before we get a big one, right? Because absolutely there are people who will make like really big ones that have lots of different types of creatures in there that all figure out how to like cohabitate, right? But I'm like, we don't know shit about that. I'm sorry. We should probably figure out how to do that right. Instead of being like, yeah, let's put like lizards and snails and isopods and all kinds of shit into a thing. And yes, we can do what we did with this jar and just like find somebody who knows what they're doing and be like, build this for us. But I'm like, I would also just like to know about it so that I know how to help it in case shit goes squirrely, right? Like, so. I watched one recently that had vampire crabs, lizards, and snails in a terrarium. See, I think that's amazing. I think that sort of thing would be awesome to have. I'd love that. I just, you know. Let the others eat the corpse. That's not what I'm talking about. Currently, we have an isopod jar, right? And I had said a while back, like, they keep having babies. I don't know what keeps happening to these babies. And then someone had to break it to me that the way that the ecosystem works in one of those jars is they eat their babies. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense why there isn't an overpopulation problem in there. I have no issue with them eating each other. My issue is, what if they are breeding too fast to eat each other properly, right? There are questions here about the balance. That's all. Don't sweat face me. But yeah, I think it would be cool to have like a big thing like that in place of like an aquarium, you know? I don't really have... Clark's interested in fish. Clark likes fish. She thinks they're fun. I think they're fun too. But you know, they require things, just like all animals in your house. They require things. They require a lot of attention to their water, to their food, etc. I love the idea of terrariums because generally you just leave them alone and glance over occasionally. You're like, oh, fuck, a cool thing is walking around. And now it's hidden again, you know? It's an experiment in sustainability with real-time observable consequences. That's fair, you know? That's true. But yeah. That's a down the line thing that I would love to do. I bought the Railbound bundle. It's a very fun game. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah, it's a very cute game. I bought Teenage Exocolonist after you recommended it yesterday, and dang, I was not prepared for the feels. What a good game, though. Yeah, it's nice because it, like, really lays out the content warnings for you, which I think is super necessary in that game. I adore it, though. I really love that game. I'm finishing up my second run through. I already know what I want to do with a third run through. We did start a little early. Things got really squirrely at my house, so I thought the earlier that I could stream, the better, because I want Sam to be able to just sleep all afternoon, basically. So if he had to be with Clarky, and he already was awake because of shit that happened this morning, I was like, I'm just gonna stream. I'm just gonna go ahead and stream for a couple hours, and then you can just sleep all afternoon, and Clarky and I will go Blackberry picking and shit. Yeah, we didn't go rock climbing, rip, because I fucked up. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Blackberries. Yeah, we went on a walk a few days ago. There are the blackberries. There were a couple that were fully ripe. Most of them were like a couple days away from being ripe. And then there were a bunch that were still like green. So I was like, this is actually great. We can come on the weekend and hopefully grab a bunch. And then in another week or so, we can probably come back and get more. So, I mean, Blackberry season is, I think, happening at a different time than usual because the weather's been so squirrely here. It totally depends on where you live, I bet. But our blackberries are just now getting fully ripe. Yeah. My kid isn't super into birds, but we do play Wingspan with her. I've adjusted the game to be 4-year-old friendly. And if you're curious how I've done that, you basically throw out almost all of the rules. Essentially what we do is we open everything up, and she gets her board, you shuffle the cards, and essentially the game for her is picking a card and then looking at the icons to determine where does that bird want to live, to put it on in the right spot on the board. What does that bird want to eat, etc. Right? So it's just like it's more of an observation game for her of like, okay, and then once you have a full board of birds, you win, basically, is how we play it with her. But she really enjoys that. There's no stakes. It's not like competitive at all. It's just like, pick a card. I have a bird. What's the name of the bird? I read the bird off to her. I read whatever trivia is on there. And then she figures out like, where does that bird want to live and what does it want to eat? And then we move on to the next bird. So it's super fun for her. She loves it. But Sam and I really love like actual Wingspan. Yeah. I still haven't tried playing it digitally. I should. There's a lot of what am I trying to say? There's a lot of board game content on TikTok. And I've thought before about doing a series on TikTok that's like, hey, you know, yeah, you could buy games specifically for your kid, but also maybe some games that you already have, you can pretend that they're kids' games. Here's how we do that at my house. It is open a little because the litter box is in here, so it is what it is. Yeah, she's napping right now, I think. I'm pretty sure that she's fallen asleep. Either she's fallen asleep or she is just maximum chill. Just hanging while I stream, which is great. A blueberry bush was found. Suddenly we had a 30-minute pause in the middle of the woods picking blueberries. I wonder if there was a fire there at some point. Blueberries thrive in places where there have been fires. Isn't that interesting? Stuff like that is so interesting to me. Maximum chill sounds good. I agree. I agree. Yeah, it was really nice waking up this morning and her being like, I just want to lay in bed. It's like, homie, that's how I feel every day. I love playing board games with my young nieces and nephew. I simplify a few rules in Munchkin and Mysterium for them. It's been so fun. Yeah, I love doing that. Because Clark always wants to open up pretty much every board game that we have. So trying to figure out how to like play these games with a 4-year-old, or like what elements of the game is exciting for her or interesting for her, right? She has, since she was like 2, enjoyed just setting up the board of Catan. She just sets it up and then tears it apart and sets it up again. That's Catan for her, right? It is a fun board, yeah. And unfortunately, I don't have my like really pretty wooden version of Catan anymore. I would love to find somebody who makes those again, because I think the guy that I originally bought that from for Jeannie, who then sent me some, I don't think makes them anymore, but I'm not sure. I could go back like 10 years in my Etsy my Etsy purchases and see if I can find him again. Yeah, the ones that I had were they were like lasered wood, and they were so pretty. You know when you like turn your head and you hear crunchy noises in your neck? I hate that. Yes, Carcassonne is really fun. Any game where it's like you are making a train track, you're making a town, you're making whatever, super good for kids around that age. Yeah. I haven't watched Bee and Puppy Cat since it's been on Netflix. I watched all of the like original like kind of proof of concept episodes and things that they made, and I really liked it. I haven't watched it since it's been on Netflix though. Will I try Overwatch 2? I tried the beta a little bit. It wasn't, at the time at least, I felt like it wasn't different enough to have necessitated a 2. Does that make sense? Apparently there's a Fox Girl hero coming. God damn it. God damn it. I do love Fox people. Shakes fist. Yeah, who's the like QB themed character from League of Legends? Ari. Dojum says she seems to be a Kitsune shrine maiden or something. I'm wondering if they went for a design that doesn't look Ari-ish. Ugh. Oh my god, shit. Do you remember? I'll just show you. You know how we like took the time to embroider a mushroom on the knee of these jeans because there was a hole in the jeans? Now there's just a hole above the mushroom. What are you gonna do? The knees want what the knees want, and they want holes. Okay, so. More mushrooms. Yeah, Clark was like, you should put a big mushroom on there. Like, I guess I could do that. Ba 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 da 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 ba 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 ba. We got kind of like a light update about Neon Divide stuff. Generally an update of like lots of things are being overhauled. Lots of like jobs are in flux, like new people taking on new roles and stuff. So we still have no idea when the next season is starting, which I'm kind of fine with. I'm kind of fine with because Swishy is making my moral model, and Swishy like literally just moved. So I've kept being like, don't worry about it, you know, get settled, like it's totally fine. So I'm glad that we have like plenty of time to make moral, you know. What if Moral had PJs that were just mushrooms? What, just sprouted mushrooms on their body every time they went to bed? I'm honestly glad they're taking the time. I can work on my model and get the kinks out. Yeah, totally. I feel like, I don't know. There was a part of me that was going, if season 4 is starting anytime soon, I'm probably going to be hosed because like, my kid's just starting school, so I don't know what things are gonna look like, right? My kid's just starting school. I'm gonna be out of town for Thanksgiving. I don't know what all we're gonna be doing for Christmas time, right? So I'm kind of like, if it takes a few more months, that's fine. Honestly, that's totally fine with me. Because this time of year is just hard to plan stuff around anyway. I think if they did it January, February-ish. That would be best personally, but obviously it's up to them. But, you know, aside from a bunch of people taking on new roles and stuff and people stepping out and all of that, there's also that they've confirmed they want to overhaul the leveling system and all of that shit. So I just feel like, you know, if they can take the time to like make sure everybody gets snugly in their roles and then they sort out the mechanic stuff and all of that, I think that is going to take some time, but it'll result in a much better season 4, you know? So I would love a February start. Then I'll be done with my masters. Absolutely. It is Clark's first year of school. Yeah. She had a great first week, I think. I think she really enjoyed it. You know, she's been invited to a bunch of birthdays. That's great. You know, she seems like she's doing fine. I hope it goes well. I sort of fell off of ND at the end there. Yeah, I wasn't there for the last 2 episodes. The final episode I wasn't there for because that's when my brother-in-law was in the hospital. Which, by the way, he is doing so much better now. He's still not like great. But we had such a long period of time where it was just be ready for anything at any moment. It was so exhausting, you know, and I can't imagine what it was like for my sister. But yeah, so he's mostly out of the woods, which is great. But that's why I was just like, I can't put on a headset for 4 hours while I'm getting text messages from my family that are like, we don't know, he might just pass away at any moment, you know? So I just said, fuck it, I'm not doing it. So it sucks to miss like the entire end of the season, but it's all right. It sort of worked with what was going on with Moral, because I kept flavoring that, like, with my new major flaw and stuff, that all of the like electricity magic stuff that got unlocked with them, that it like encouraged growth, right? Because in real life, lightning and electricity and stuff is used to encourage cloning and growth and stuff in real mushrooms. So I was like, that could be a really interesting avenue to go down with Moral, because Moral already has grown too much of things, right? They have 4 arms. So I was like, this would be really fun to have it be like, for whatever reason, this like electricity magic is causing them to grow, but in ways that they can't control fully. So, yeah. So I was just like, Moral grew too much. Basically, Moral's stuck. Moral can't move. They're stuck at the house. They can't do anything. Maybe they're asleep. Who knows? You know, like, it's fine. They just, for whatever reason, they can't be involved in shit right now. So it kind of worked out with what was going on with them at the time, but and I think it's a year. I think they're saying it's a year difference again, or 6 months. Man, he's booking it now. He's scooting. Has he got the back brace on? Non-canon night last night was crazy, I bet. It's a year difference. Okay. That's what I thought. Moral too buff, can't fit through the door. Not buff. Just a just a horror show of limbs, that's all. You know, like, you know, in shows and games and stuff when they really want it to be creepy, where like you look at a wall and there's like a face just like growing out of the wall. I kind of imagined a thing like that. Like Moral's grown so much that they've just like become part of the mushroom house. And they're like, well, I don't know what to do about this. So so that's what it is in my mind. But Moral is going to be bigger next season, which is why we're making a whole new model and stuff. So that's fun. Make sure I don't have a message from Sam. I do not. Sick. Moral will finally outgrow you. One thing that Swishy did say was like, I can tell that Moral's arms are like way too long because basically all the time, if you ever watched footage of other people talking to Moral, their arms were always like this. It's because the arms were too long for like the proportions of the model. Even when my arms were down fully, the arms would bend because it's tracking where your hands are, right? So like imagine that if it's saying where's your hand, that's where I'm gonna put Moral's hand, but Moral's arm is way longer than mine, then the arm will always be like this, right? To make sure that the hand is always where your hand is. So it resulted in Moral just always kind of walking around like this. And if I sat, if I decided to just like sit down for RP for a while, it got even worse. I would be walking around like this because then my arms weren't straight down, right? They were on my lap. So my arms would be bent and then they would overbend. Looked like a little gremlin dude. So Swishy was like, I think we should adjust the proportions so that like it can actually track what you're doing with your arm. And I was like, yes, I agree. Yeah. But then again, Goblin. Then again, you know, it worked for Little Moral. It worked for Little Moral. I think for bigger Moral, it'll be nice to not be walking around like this all the time, unless I want to, you know? Has the tech for tracking and stuff gotten better? Yeah, for sure. They added, in the middle of season 3, they added knee and elbow tracking. So you can, oh my god, you can do all kinds of stuff now. Like you can basically have trackers on every part of your body, and it is super accurate if you have everything set up super well and like, you know, you have good quality like cameras to track you and stuff. It's pretty, yeah, it's pretty legit. And some of the people that are in Neon Divide and other RPs, some of the people that do it a lot, that do like a ton of VR RP, they've figured out how to like Neither. Oh my god, has figured out how to move in such natural ways. You know, like it's really interesting. All the locks in the row are so high. My character can barely reach them. There were quite a few things. As a person who almost exclusively did gathering, there were so many items that were on purpose growing out of spots that I could not reach as moral. So I would be walking around and I'd see something and be like, how the fuck do I get up there? I would spend so long trying to get somewhere and just keep falling. So you grew your arms to reach the mushrooms. Yeah, you know, something like that. Or I went to taller characters and was like, hi, can you grab something for me? Thank you. I remember Nia jumping for the fire flower in the incinerator. Yeah. Yeah, Nia's got that jump, dude. But I did, dude. I found where so many. I have like a mental map now of where all of the items that I consistently use, to like craft stuff. I basically know all of the spots where those things grow. So I never wanted to like be an asshole about it, but like if I was really desperate to make something, I would just run around and grab literally everything and be like, sorry guys, it'll respawn soon, I promise. I just need to make some shit really quick. Yeah, there's spawn timers on things. So if something's gone, you know that you can come back in about a half an hour and it'll be there again. Generally, you don't want to like over harvest, so to speak. Just like take what it is that you need, you know? But yeah. It also, so kind of the way that it works, you can only have so many items on the map at once. So if you see something sitting there, you click on it, and at that moment that you click on it, it spawns the item, right? So that there aren't just a bunch of item slots being taken up by things that people might not even harvest. So you go to it, you click on it, it harvests it, and it gets rid of the model until 30 minutes goes by. But then, like, ideally, for the sake of not only other people who need those items, but also just the map in general, you don't want to just, like, spawn 12 things suddenly to take and take them all back and just, like, let them sit in your apartment or whatever. Because it will create a situation where eventually somebody will be trying to spawn something that they need, and it might not spawn at all, or it might spawn a totally different model, right? Like it just borks up a bunch of shit. So generally, it's, you know, obviously it's fine to grab everything that you need. But hopefully you can create a situation where you grab all of the stuff that you need and craft it right away so that those items are then freed up, right? If I have, you know, like 5 things that are going to combine into 1 or 2 things, great. I remember how many people found drop ships in their backpacks. I found guns in my backpack all the time. And I was like, so I'd have to spawn in a gun and throw it in the garbage to despawn it, and it was so annoying. It's raining. Yeah. Yeah, our coffee maker, when it was spawning guns instead of cups of coffee, that was really good. I hope I never have to get called in to murk the mush. Please don't. I'm a good boy. It's my job. I feel like, you know, if you gave me a shot, I think we'd get along really well. That's all. That's all. And then maybe you'd be like, well, maybe we'll Snow White this, you know. I'll say that I killed you. Just bring them a bit of mushroom. It's fine. Be like, it's proof. Definitely killed them. They're dead. I promise. And then if they see me, be like, well, yeah, because mushrooms clone, you know, because it's a different one. It's a different moral. I can only fake that lower areas of the city contain actual people. Oh my god. Yeah, I am still very curious about all of those mushrooms that I planted at the end of the season and then just like didn't show up for the finale to check on them. But again, nobody came to me in DMs or anything being like, hey, we found your fucking mushroom. So have they just been allowed to grow? I doubt it. I doubt they've just let a mushroom grow in the sanctum. Because I literally told Esperine that I can now potentially see through mushrooms. So I doubt that Esper would be like, this is fine. This like weird organic surveillance camera that's now growing in here. I love that. We should keep that. There's no fucking way. That's terrifying. It's the mycelial network, baby. They adopted it as a pet. I guess if it comes alive, if it gains sentience, it's not mine anymore, you know? I'm worried about some of those more than others because of the mana in those areas. Yeah, me too. The one that I planted in the Shadow District, I'm a little concerned about. But, like, Shadow isn't bad, you know? But yeah. I've put those in lots of interesting areas, so we'll see. It literally, I went to the DMs and was just like, if somebody wants to be a Myconid character, I've planted a bunch of mushrooms. We could say that one of them is their character if they're looking for like an origin reason, you know? They can be my kid if they want. But some of them can also be like weird fucked up animals that are in the Undercity now, you know? I don't care. I don't care. It's up to y'all. Or the huge amounts of mana in the Grove. Yeah. The Grove one, I feel like we'll at least have more observation on it, if that makes sense. I literally planted it in a spot that a lot of people go. If something weird is going on with it, I think it'll be noticed really fast. It's the same as the one in the Sanctum, you know? So. But I've told them, I left it all in their hands, but I told them like what Moral eats. I've told them what areas Moral thrives in and feels the most comfortable in. They know what magic type I am because I'm a Pokemon now, and and also what I, or rather what Moral thinks is how they came to be in like the test tube situation. So I figure beyond that, I've got no control over that shit, you know? Shale ain't letting shit happen in his grove. Absolutely not. No. If there's something weird happening in the grove, Shale will notice, Nico will notice, everyone will know. They will uproot that shit if they think it's going bad. Did he plant it somewhere it would get noticed for story purposes? I think it's more like, as Moral wasn't trying to hide them. Moral is doing an experiment, you know? So Moral's planted all of these things in the hopes that they can be observed, because Moral is very interested in why they're alive, essentially, and wants to track whether or not these spores that have been planted thrive, and if they become sentient, and try to determine why, if that does happen. So yeah, it's, you know, Moral's a little like chaos scientist, so Moral's just doing shit that they find interesting. And being like, I don't know, we'll see. So yeah, plant them in different areas of different mana types, you know, different zones, like just see what happens to them, basically. Moral the embodiment of fuck around and find out. At least they know how to lie now. That's a huge improvement from season 2. But yeah, at the end of season 3, Moral was trying to become mayor. I don't know if that's gonna be a thing. None of us are mayor as far as I know, so I don't know what wound up going on with that. But there was just too much going on for us to like address the mayor thing at the end, I think, so. But yeah. Moral's a good bean. They just do things that they don't necessarily think are, not to make a pun, but like they don't think the things that they've done are morally ambiguous, you know? They just do things that they think are interesting, and sometimes it takes other people being like, don't do that. Maybe don't do that, you know? That's my computer. That was not yours. Sounds interesting. Is the science angle a new character thing, or was it always there? It was always there because they were grown in a lab. And so there's a certain element for Moral character-wise for me, like there's an element for Moral of feeling more control over their situation by understanding the scientific element, you know? So they engage with science in a way of like, sort of almost like, if I understand this stuff better, it can't hurt me again, you know? But they've never been trained, right? They don't know how to do anything safely. But they've taken an interest in it. So I think in some ways they're like, well, I use it to make medicine. That's a good thing, right? I'm using it to do good stuff. I'm using it to help people. But then on the side, they're also using it in ways that some people might be like, don't do that, you know? So. Like the spy cameras. They don't think of them as spy cameras, though. the ones that they planted. It's not that's not what those are for, right? But could they eventually become spy cameras? Maybe. I know the way that perk works. So I know that I can't use them as cameras. They have to be mushrooms that have been around long enough to deeply connect to the network, which means like new growths aren't going to be connected well enough yet, right? I know that. but yeah. The character arc of the cameras. Leave them around for a season and you know, who knows? We'll see. But yeah, I'm very attached to Moral as a character. I would be sad if they died, obviously. I'm not a combat character. It would be a very rare situation for them to die, but like I have mentally prepared. It's a PvP RP, you know. So if I hadn't taken the time to think to myself, Moral could die, I need to be okay with that, you know. It's always hard when a character dies, but I think if you think about that possibility ahead of time and sort of accept that in a PvP RP it could happen, and to not take it super personally if possible, and to not blame the person who played the character that killed you or whatever, I think all of that stuff is really important. Because otherwise I think it can create a situation where people are hesitant to play their characters, right? If a character is like, I think my character would kill Moral, right? Like, then I should certainly hope that they would try to. If their character would do that, I hope that they would try to, and not be like, well, I'm not gonna because I don't want Dodger to be mad at me. Because that's not the point, you know. You might have clones by then. It's true. That being said, I fully understand when someone's character dies and they try to come back as a new character, but then realize, like, I don't think I'm ready to come back to this, you know, and step away for a while. That's happened a few times. I think that's totally normal to be like, all right, I'm gonna dive headfirst in with a new character and just push through the sads, and sometimes it doesn't work, you know, and you have to just step away for a while. What I'm hearing is if Moral was hungry, Moral would eat a body. Oh my god. Mm-hmm. That's another thing. It's a huge either time or money or both commitment to have a totally new character model made, you know? So not only, it's not like D&D where you just write up a new character and you can play them and you don't need a visual for them, you know? With the VRRP stuff, you have to have a model to use. So, you know, it's just a lot. It's a lot to create a situation where you can come back, you know? keep chewing the sides of my mouth. It's not good. I need to stop doing that. This reminds me I need to contact my model maker when season 4 gets announced so I can get the time skip changes made. Yeah, I don't know if you were here when I was talking about my moral model, but yeah, I'm pretty chill about them taking a while to for season 4 to happen because I'm doing a whole new model and I think it's going to take a while. Oh, the main cost is definitely just the model making. But you can have a base model made pretty easily depending on like the complexity of your design, but a lot of the extra cost and time is in toggleables, like abilities you want them to have, you know, like clothing on and off, magic, like any of these things that you need to activate or put on, take off, all of that sort of shit. Every one of those that you add onto the model adds cost, you know. Boone, thank you so much for the raid. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Boone, I saw you were wrestling. We're wrestling people. Welcome, guys. We're just chitty chatting. We're talking about virtual reality RP stuff. I'm tried my best. Do you like that game? Sam really likes that game. That like wrestling battle royale game. Hey, Sci-Fry. It's pretty good. Yeah, Sam likes it. I catch him watching people playing it all the time. What's up, guys? I'm Dodger. If you know Strippin', we're married. I hang out and drink coffee and shoot the shit on Saturdays. So if you'd like to hang for that, that would be great. Although I did finish my coffee, unfortunate. Well, I've got a little left in there. There's a smidge. I actually thought that this was empty, but it's not. What a delightful present from, I don't know, 15 minutes ago me to current me. What does shoot the shit mean? Oh, it just means talk. If you're shooting the shit with somebody, it means that you're like, you're having a conversation. You're shooting non-important information out of your mouth at each other. We're shooting the shit. I'm talking about whoever, whatever. I'm looking younger lately. When I cut all my hair off, a bunch of people said I suddenly looked way younger, which was not my intention. So must shoot actual poo-poo. No, Summer. Shit posting in person. Yeah. Bah. You wanted to look older? I mean, it would be great to look my age one day in my life, ever. It would be that would be great. And I don't need a bunch of people responding to this with, you should be glad you look younger than your age. When you get older, you'll be so happy that you look so much younger. Please don't complain about that. It's fine. I know. Thank you. I'm 35. I'm 35 years old. When I'm 40, that's when the real shit happens. Hell yeah. Can't wait. 40? Mm-hmm. Can't wait. I'm turning 40 in exactly 2 months. Let's go. I was really excited to turn 30, and now that I'm 35, I'm like, let's get to 40. Come on, let's go. The first haircut made you look big, mature aunt vibes. The new haircut gives me teen punk in the best way. Thank you. I hope I can still stream video games as a living when I'm 40. I'm sure you can. This industry isn't going away soon, so I'm pretty confident you'll be able to. Yeah, I've explained this before, but like, there's a point where always looking really young gets exhausting. Just purely because people talk down to you a lot. and it's really annoying. So sometimes it's nice to be able to look a bit closer to your age. I'm under 5 feet tall. It's constant. Yeah, I'm 5 feet exactly. The height and the baby face. I'm not saying that I actually look like a teenager. I don't think that I do. I'm not delusional, but I do think that I look younger than my age. And I'm short. It's just a bad like combination of things. So sorry, I'm just reading chat. Everybody's telling stories now and it's funny. But I have a mentality that any adult on the internet is older than me. Yeah, I also assume that pretty much anybody I meet is around my age online. That's not a good assumption to make in certain situations. But generally, unless you are pursuing someone romantically, in which case, fucking double check, dude. But, generally, if you're working with people and you have that mindset and you treat people as peers, it is much easier to work with or just hang out with people, you know? I'm always really shocked to find out that people are way younger than me because I just generally assume that all of my friends are around my age. It's not that it changes anything when I find out that they're younger than me, even way younger than me. Because if we've gotten along great and, you know, had similar interests and talk well together, then I don't give a shit, you know? But yeah. Yeah, exactly. You go, oh, that's surprising. And then you move on. It's like not a big deal. But again, to stress, I am not talking about a situation in which you're like showing, you know, physical or romantic interest in someone. Age 100% matters in that situation. I feel like the older I get, the younger the average internet user gets. I mean, probably. The internet has been around for the entirety of my daughter's life. The internet didn't exist in my hometown until I was nearly 13, I think. So... do you feel that people have to be close in age? Maybe I should specify. I'm saying the number of fucking people, we don't need to go in on this, but if you want me to expound, the number of fucking people who wind up in a situation where they've been chatting up a minor and then are like, I didn't know. Ask. Ask. If you're showing interest in someone, ask how old they are. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Anywho. We can move on from there. But I saw a few people being like, I'm a bit older than the person I'm dating. That is not what I'm talking about. Ugh. What's Costume Quest? I see it's due for later in the title. So, Costume Quest is a game that came out quite a few years ago. That is, it was a Double Fine game that came out for around Halloween time, where you played as a bunch of little kids on Halloween that are like on an imaginary adventure where their costumes give them magic powers, and it's like a turn-based like battle game. And Amazon, so we've been trying to figure out what to watch for a watch party for a while, and generally the consensus was you're good if it's an Amazon original, but I had no idea what to even bother looking for as an Amazon original. And it turns out Amazon has 3 seasons of a Costume Quest show that is based on the game. So I was like, oh my god, 'tis the season. 'Tis the season, dude. So we're gonna watch potentially the whole first season. We'll see how we do, but we're gonna watch at least a few episodes of this Costume Quest show. So yeah. Yeah, it's an Amazon original, so it should be good. It should be good generally for like the like watch party thing on Twitch. No, as long as you have, from what I understand, as long as you have an Amazon Prime account that is linked to your Twitch, and as long as that show or movie or whatever is available to you with Prime, then you'll be able to watch it along with the watch party, which is why everybody's like, go for Amazon Originals, because generally they're available to anybody. So yeah. We are dust. We are dust. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I haven't watched any of the like new Lord of the Rings stuff, new Game of Thrones stuff. I haven't watched any of that shit. I'm still just trying to get through Stranger Things season 4, dude. Do not spoil shit. I'll die. I'll die instantly. I watched all 3 Ivy and Bean movies. They're very cute. Yeah, after chat was like, oh, there's a couple other Ivy and Bean movies. Clark's watched the other ones. They're cute movies. They're very cute. But yeah, I think can confirm season 4 is my favorite season of Stranger Things so far. Although I will say I haven't seen season 1 in a long time. I watched season 1 right when it came out, and I really, really loved it. But I don't know. Season 4 is hitting different, dude. I was saying that there was an episode that I watched of season 4, and again, I'm not going to spoil anything specific. All that you need to know is there's an episode of season 4 that had me absolutely sobbing at the end. And I was in the car going to pick up the back brace from my in-laws' house for Sam, and thought about the scene that made me cry, and it made me cry in the car. And I was like, holy shit, that episode really fucked me up, dude. I don't remember what number of episode it was, but I don't want to go into it too much because I don't want to spoil anything for people. Yeah, I think Sam finished Better Call Saul as well. Which show is this? The newest season of Stranger Things. The newest season of Stranger Things. My favorite season yet, for sure. I watched the first couple seasons of Better Call Saul a while ago, quite a few years ago, I think. Maybe was Clark alive? I don't know. I'm not sure. But I enjoyed it. But I didn't keep watching it for whatever reason. That, like, I think one of you guys might have suggested it in our redemption thing, but there's like a Disney themed Stardew Valley Animal Crossing-esque game that Bree's been playing, and Bree was like, you gotta show this game to Clark. So I might have to, yeah, Disney Dreamlight something something. I'm playing it right now. Apparently it's really fun. Sam let Clark play a little Splatoon yesterday. Very cute. She knew how to become a squid and how to become a kid. She went into the store and bought an outfit. Very cute. Did she win? I don't think that she, like, fought in the game. I don't think she did a match. She ran around in the lobby and became a squid and then became a kid, you know? Fuck. Okay, hold on. Where can I get this game? Is it on Steam? Oh my god, it is. Disney Dreamlight Valley. Holy shit. It's early access. Interesting. Avatar designer? Interesting. The fuck is the Ultimate Edition? A furniture set. Deluxe cosmetic items. Design motifs. A regal animal fox companion. God damn it. I'm not spending $70 on Disney Dreamlight. Get out of here. No way. But I will get the base game for my child. And definitely not for me. Is it hot in here? According to reviews, it's going to be free to play later on. Interesting. Oh, I shouldn't have started the installation process while I'm streaming. That was a goof. That was a goof on my part, but it's fine. It's fine. It looks like we're okay. Brett, Sci-Fi, and Summer are here, my two favorite insomniacs. I can't believe this. Brett, don't go murdering people in my chat, okay? This is a squeaky clean stream. Why the call out post? I don't have Game Pass, so I will buy it. But those of you who have Game Pass, apparently it's included. I can't find cherry juice. What? Come on. Come on. I did. I cut all my hair off. I got rid of it. It's short enough now that I'm also like, sometimes if I'm sitting around for too long, I think to myself, I could slap some dye on this. So that's also where I'm at mentally. Do it. Do you miss the long hair? Not at all. Not even for a second. What color? I don't know. Telly gave me a lot of colors. Telly's dyed my hair so many times now that I have just like a bag of color that I could just throw on there, you know? For real though, I shaved my head and I do not miss the long hair. No, dude, I don't miss the hair at all. It was very cute. Clark and Sam were in his office and I was in the kitchen doing something, but I could like hear them talking. And Clark was like, "Daddy, I want you to cut your hair." And he was like, I might cut it. I'm kind of getting sick of it. We'll see. And she was like, "And I want mommy to grow her hair out." And Sam was like, "Well, mommy can do whatever she wants with her hair, huh?" And Clark was like, "Ugh, yeah, I guess." I was like, supportive dad vibes. Okay, yeah, is this what we're doing? I'll be Jack Frost, and then Clark can bust out her like 4 different Elsa cosplays, and that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do for Halloween. Your daughter seems like a bucket of sass. Oh my god, big time. Big time. Since she's been in school, I think generally she's been really happy. She's been fine. We've gotten along great, but like it's been kind of a hair trigger if something is upsetting for her, because you know she's had to do a lot this week. I get it. But yesterday we took turns. She has a big pink stuffed owl that my mom got her when she was a baby, and we were taking turns screaming into it because occasionally, you know, she gets really upset about something and it just like explodes out of her. And I was like, all right, we need to work on the like not yelling at each other thing. I don't yell at you, daddy doesn't yell at you, mommy and daddy don't yell at each other. I know that you're still like working on regulating your emotions and all of that, and we get upset sometimes. I can appreciate that. So maybe instead of yelling at a person, you can yell into a thing. So so she and I were sitting in her room just taking the owl and pushing it up against our face and just screaming. And she sat there with the owl on her face screaming for so long and then was like, "Okay, I got them all out." I was like, "Oh, honey." Oh my god. Had a lot of screams stored up from this week. Been through a lot, dude. The whole family needs Krampus outfits. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, so today a glass shattered. I was doing dishes. I was kind of like putzing around trying to like, not putzing. Putzing implies that I was taking a little too much time to do things, I think. But I was trying to get everything sorted before I started streaming, right? After we had dropped off Keenan. And I accidentally, a glass tipped off of our drying rack for dishes and it fell on the ground and it shattered into like powder. It was not a clean break, right? It wasn't a situation where it broke into like 3 big pieces and then there was a little bit of powdered glass. It was like it shattered, right? And I just yelled fuck like really loud. And Clark was like, mommy, what happened? And I was like, I dropped a glass. And I was so upset. And later while I was cleaning it, because I was like, how about you go sit with your dad? Because I don't want you stepping on glass, right? So I'm cleaning it up, and it occurred to me, like, there was not a single moment that Clark thought I was yelling at her. You know? She didn't like get nervous or like seize up at all or anything. She knew it had nothing to do with her. The glass fell, I yelled, and she was like, you're frustrated, mommy, because you dropped the fucking glass, you know? Like, it was one of those moments where I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. That's so great, you know? That like, that there wasn't even a second where she felt like worried that maybe she did something. Not at all. She was just like, mommy broke a glass, I'm gonna go sit with daddy, you know, like super chill about it. And I was like, that's great. That actually, you know, despite all of the frustration about having to clean up this glass for the next like 20 minutes, that was kind of a nice thing to realize. Yeah. Thanks. I don't know, it felt like a good... It was occasionally, because sometimes when you're parenting, it feels like, well, a lot of times when you're parenting, it feels like you're playing a really frustrating long game. Because my goal isn't like compliance, right? I want really badly to connect with my kid and to be able to communicate with her well, to understand when she's upset, for her to understand when I'm upset, you know. But that means that sometimes we have really frustrating interactions. So you have moments occasionally where you're like, I'm really glad I'm doing it this way. You know? And that was one of those moments for me today, was like, I'm so glad that Sam and I don't yell at her. We get frustrated and sometimes, you know, we talk louder, I guess. But we do our best to not like yell, and especially not yell at her. And it was really, really nice to have a moment today while I was really frustrated, realizing like she never once thought I was yelling at her, because we don't yell at her. That's so great. That makes me so happy. Like, I feel really emotional about that, you know. Because it's hard. Parenting's really rough. Parenting's really hard. It's really hard, but it can be really rewarding in moments like that for sure. So I was very happy about that. Also, I would just like to say, since we're talking about this, if you're a parent and your kids do things that trigger you sometimes, God, there is no better way to figure out that you have a bunch of triggers that you were not fully aware of until you have children that are like pushing those buttons all the goddamn time. But like, if you're in situations where you find yourself yelling and then you feel really guilty about it afterwards, like, you are not alone. That is like such a common thing. I think if you're trying to figure out what it is that like makes you feel that way and trying to find other options, you know, and trying to do things differently, that's amazing. We're all just like trying to, you know, our parents tried to do things better than their parents, etc., 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 right? And there's some stuff that we're gonna have to work really hard to try and break, and sometimes it's yelling, you know, unfortunately. So if you're a parent that is struggling with yelling at your kids, I want to be clear that I don't judge that at all. And I think that that's something that is hard to stop doing if when you're frustrated, you feel like you don't know what to do other than yell. You know, it's something that's probably going to take a while to, you know, find other options for. So I think as long as we're all trying to do our best and we apologize when we make mistakes, those are huge. Those are huge, huge, you know? My dad, I talk about my dad a lot, but my dad grew up in a really bad situation, like a really, really bad situation. And he has worked his entire life to try and break cycles from his parents. And I like to think that the best thing that I can possibly do, you know, to honor all of the work that he's done is to continue that work, right? To identify, like, these are things that my dad struggled with a lot, and they're things that I think I can work on now, you know, as a parent. And I'm not going to be perfect either. We're just a bunch of imperfect people trying to raise the next humans as best we can, so you're doing great, is the bottom line. You're doing great. We're all just doing our best. The wheel do keep turning. It do. Okay, we're gonna wrap up here in a few minutes, but pardon me. Do you reckon that streaming and dealing with chat helped with developing patience and such for Clark? I don't think so, not necessarily. I think that I've learned a lot of really important things from streaming and YouTube and things. Because it is so visible. If I say something or do something that needs calling out, or not even necessarily calling out, but create a situation where somebody feels compelled to come to me and say, like, hey, I'd like to give you some more insight on why that was uncomfortable for me, or like, you know, I'd love for you to like look into X, Y, and Z more to find out why people got upset about whatever happened, you know. I've learned a lot that way. A big one that I've talked about before is, like, I think when I was doing YouTube a while ago, I used to get really, really, really frustrated with what I would kind of like group up as like rude behavior, right? Somebody would say something and I'd be like, that's so rude. Why is that not obviously rude to you, right? And I would get really frustrated with people sometimes in the way that they would talk to me or the sort of things that they would say. And because I have such an international audience, but also just like just a lot of people here, and I've talked with a lot of people now, I've realized like there are so many reasons for that sort of a disconnect to happen. Yeah, it could be that somebody is actually trying to be shitty, but it could also be that you know, they're on the autism spectrum and they legitimately don't know, and maybe nobody's taken the time to ever tell them that culturally that wasn't a rude thing to say because of where they've grown up, that English is not their first language, and so they aren't choosing hyper-specific words that would be like the more palatable way to say something. There are so many reasons that the way someone says something in chat, and there's no, it's text, right? It's all in text. I'm not getting inflection. I'm not seeing someone's face. It's a really interesting combination of things online, right? Where people can be from all over the world, from all different points of view, all different places, all different life experiences. And I've found that I am generally happier and more understanding if I assume that someone is not saying things from a place of malice. They are not trying to upset me. That they might legitimately not realize that something they've said is rude, right? It doesn't mean that it shouldn't be pointed out to that person, right? Because again, if we're to say like some of my friends that are on the autism spectrum have always said like, I would much rather a person tell me, right? I would much rather that if I say something and it comes across badly, I need to know that, right? Somebody has to tell me that or I'll never know. Or if somebody is saying something in English that comes across badly for X, Y, or Z reason, I would assume that they would want to know not to put it that way in the future, right? Because they're not trying to upset anybody. Of course not. So yeah, I would say that like that is a huge thing that I've learned from being a YouTuber and a streamer, is that I have interacted with so many different types of people at this point, that I have learned a lot about how complex people can be. And it's much easier and nicer for me mentally, yeah, to assume that the person who said the thing just didn't know, and to try not to snap at them. And I still snap sometimes. I try not to though. So I came to that realization recently too, but it happens sometimes. For sure, you try your best. You try your best to be understanding, but to also, you know, say like, homie, that did not come across the way that I think you wanted it to, you know. So anywho, I don't know that answered your question properly, but I think you were asking whether or not being a streamer has helped me be a parent. But you know, maybe you could say that like I try to be more encouraging with my kid to like understand other perspectives, you know. It was a good yarn nonetheless. Thanks. It worked out. Yeah, I don't think that I realized as a generally neurotypical person, I don't think that I realized how often we say things that don't necessarily mean exactly what we're saying, right? I don't think that that occurred to me until it started being pointed out in like content and things that I would watch. And for someone who is going to take things that are said at face value, I'm sure that is deeply confusing and creates like a really big disconnect with people that they're trying to communicate with. I'm sure that's very frustrating. Like shooting the shit. Yeah, I'm not actually shooting shit at anybody. Literal interpretation is a very common thing in people with, yeah, Asperger's spectrum, yeah. Or autism spectrum, sorry. Learned context and nuance is huge, for sure. Yeah. Oh, goodness. Shooting the shit would be a really unfortunate one of those to be taken at face value, yeah. The one that I always think of, there are lots of examples of this that people have made like videos about, but the one that I always think of is, I wish I could remember their name. They made a video talking about let's grab a coffee. About how it took them a really long time to realize if someone says, hey, do you want to grab a coffee with me? It means I want to spend time with you. It doesn't mean that we have to drink coffee, right? And they kept saying no because they don't drink coffee. But eventually realized, wait, I can drink whatever I want, right? If we go to get a drink, I can drink whatever I want, but also that the point is not getting the drink. The point is spending time together. They want to spend time with me. The coffee part is you know, doesn't matter. But you wouldn't know that, right? You wouldn't know that unless someone said that to you. So if you're a person who interprets things literally, and I said to you, hey, do you want to grab a coffee sometime? It totally makes sense that you might say no, because I don't drink coffee. Right? But typically, if someone says, hey, do you want to grab a coffee sometime? The implication is, I would like to have a short catch up with you. I would love for us to get together for about the amount of time that it takes to drink a cup of coffee so that we can talk. I want to spend some time with you. That's what that means. So, saying no will then say to the person who said, do you want to grab a coffee sometime? If you say no, they will take it as, oh, they don't want to spend time with me. Right? The nuance there is so important, but unless it's pointed out to you, you wouldn't know that. It's fascinating. So I try to like keep that in mind now when I'm interacting with friends of mine who are autistic. Also want to come back to my place for coffee has nothing to do with coffee. Yeah, that's another one. First time I was asked, I followed the no with I don't drink coffee, so they were able to correct me. Yeah, that's fortunate. I'm glad that they did. The double meanings can be exhausting, for sure. And if you don't know the double meaning, then I'm sure that you just sit there like, if you know there's potentially a double meaning, but you're not positive about what the double meaning is, that's also exhausting, right? Because you sit there thinking like, what do they mean? What do they mean right now, you know? So even neurotypical people do that. So yeah, communication's hard. Communication's very rough. Anywho, I have no idea how we got here. I don't know how we got here, but that's okay. Let's start wrapping up, dude. I feel like we haven't been doing because I'm still getting used to the new schedule, the like coffee time sections of my streams are shorter than they used to be during the week, right? And so sitting here now for Saturday morning dooger, I felt like a lot of energy to talk. But now that I'm having to end, I'm going, wait, I didn't talk about the games we played this week at all. I didn't show any of the clips or any of the fan art or any of that stuff that I'm meant to do on a Saturday morning dooger. So growing pains. Coffee time is dying. Don't say that. Everything's swapping over. It's just different. Lightning round? Okay, let's see. Disney Dreamlight Valley, I just downloaded. Railbound was really fun. It got hard really quickly for me, but I think it's super, super cute. The animation in it is adorable. Very satisfying clicky clack noises. It's great. It's a little puzzle game about trains. I was a teenage exocolonist I'm like super obsessed with still. I'm on my second run of it. I'm almost done with my second run of it, but it's a fantastic game where you play through the teenage years of somebody on a new planet that's being colonized by humans. It's super, super fun. I love it. I'm excited to play like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 runs of that game. Circus Electrique is all right. It's like Darkest Dungeon with steampunk layered on top of it. I think that it tries to do too much. I don't think that the element of having to like set up a circus performance before you can go out and like do a run and like do a fight and stuff, I think it's a little bit clunky in terms of the pacing of it, and there's almost too many elements, so none of it is like fantastic. The vibe of it though is fun. Still playing Played Up's fun. Rungo's okay. It's like a Rungor beginner experience. It's like a prologue to the actual game that's going to be coming out. But it's like an auto battler with cards. That's also a side-scrolling like runner game. It was fun. I have no like interest in playing a ton more of it, so we'll see what it's like when it actually comes out. Is that it? I think that might be it for stuff that we played this week. I continue to play Soulstone Survivors a little bit, but I've basically maxed out everything, so there's no point anymore. Backpack Hero is fun, but I find that I'm more interested in just playing like the base class of Backpack Hero than the more like complex classes. I don't find them as interesting as just playing it basically for some reason. And I think that's it. I think that's it. Ugh. All right. Let's see. Got a couple Valentines. PG Wipeout said, thanks for keeping me company while I clean out the old house of all my ex-spouse's stuff that they left behind. Oof. I'm sure that you could use some company for that. I'm glad that we could help. And Cupcakes of Chaos said to Dodger and the wonderful community, happy Mid-Autumn Festival to those who celebrate and to all related festivals today. Shout out to all the wonderful mods, especially the veterans of the Hotel Transylvania. Spoiler fingered Dodger, please. This could have been a 10-minute video. I was thinking about Hotel Transylvania for the rest of the day. I was just like, you all know that. All right. Let's see. What have we got going on now? Toasted Nom, thank you for the 27 months. Jorday for the 17 months. Dreadnought for the 4. Dav for the 14. Dahobo for the 31. Buttons for the 6. Grace Me for the 28. An anonymous gifter gifted a sub. Thank you so much. Cruff for the 10 months. Sushi for the 7. Goron for the 30. Stachi for the 59. Anon Giles for the 61. Xander Prime for the 40. Kreckly for the 2. Cornbread Kent for the 20. Boone, thank you again for the raid, bud. I hope you're doing well. Hambina for the 10. Crimson Jockey for the 25. Otherin for the 19. Gonzo the Sock Puppet for the 8. And Avi gave 50 subs. Holy shit. Thank you so much, Avi. Holy shit. Thank you, thank you. Welcome to the Cat Gang. Anybody who has just gifted a sub. 50 subs. Goodness gracious. Thank you so much. Yeah, if you were gifted a sub by Avi, please take the time to say thank you. Very, very generous. Okay. No raid leader. So I will find someone. Oh my god, my nose is so itchy. I don't know if you can tell from how often I'm touching it, but it's driving me crazy. Let's see. Mr. Rebecca is playing Railbound. Let's go say hi. Mr. _ Rebecca. I always forget their full handle. All right, fantastic. Bam. Yay! Go say hi, spread love, spread joy. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me for Saturday morning Dooger. Part of it was actually in the morning. Wild. But I will be back tonight trying to do this watch party of Costume Quest, so hopefully that works out. If not then, my next normal stream will be on Monday, okay? So I'll see you when I see you guys. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.